Oh man, this is hard. This is hard. Okay, in this turn, I have to reduce it down to second gear. Oh my god, I stopped the car! I stopped the car! Welcome to my channel. Quick catch up if you're new. So I've been going through all my assist list one by one, seeing how much of a mess I could make without them. And today it's gearbox day. Okay, so right now everything is automatic. The car picks up the gear. I just focused on the pedals and the wheels. Okay, from this point on, I've got the pedal shifters. It's entirely on me to know when to upshift, when to downshift, and probably the most importantly, not to miss a shift under braking and locking up rears. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so now we are in the game and we are going to manual and suggested gear for now. So the plan is maybe we just move it down to like our manual and suggested gear. So this is the plan, and let's see how well we can do it. All right, here's how today is going to work. Two parts. First, I'm taking manual gears out for a spin on any circuit just to get into a rhythm. No pressure, no stakes, just me and the pedals learning to talk to each other. Second, once I'm comfortable, no easing in gently, straight into a full Grand Prix weekend. Manual gears, real race, real consequences. Let's see how do I perform. Initially getting into a rhythm was very difficult. Remembering how to downshift and upshift at every turns and straight, I was terrible in that. Calm down. Then slowly I thought I was getting into a rhythm. I'm slowly getting the rhythm. At least that's what I thought. But then after a while, I actually did locked in. Although it took countless of hours, finally I managed to get into a rhythm and get myself used to manual gears. That the first challenge is complete. Now I've got to gear up and lock in on the second challenge. So for the second challenge, I decided to have like a practice session, a short qualification, and a very short race session. I chose Bahrain for my race weekend because it's an easy track to master. During the practice session, it took countless of laps for me to get used to the manual gears all over again. After a few laps, I straight jumped into the qualifiers. Since this was a short qualifying session, I had multiple chances to go for pole position. On my first attempt, I was a little off with some of my turns and missed a few of my gear shifts. Despite that, I still managed to put in a decent lap and finished in third. But I wasn't satisfied with that, so I immediately went for a second attempt. This time, I was more confident through the corners, carried more speed and timed my upshifts and downshifts much better. All of that came together and I managed to shave off more than a second from my previous lap. All is done and now it is race time. When the race started, I completely messed up the launch. Somehow, despite that, I still managed to keep the lead, which was great until I realized Leclerc was starting to close the gap. And that's when the panic started. Suddenly, I was missing braking points, messing up my shifts, and oversteering almost every corner. Basically, I had gone from I have got this to please don't look at the telemetry. But somehow, despite all the mistakes, I was still managing to keep the pace. One thing I still hadn't gotten used to, even after all the practice, was the pedal shifters.
Every time I needed to shift, there was this tiny moment of hesitation, and at this level, that tiny moment can cost you a lot of time. Then, at the end of lap 2, I managed to set the fastest lap and pulled almost a 1 second gap on Leclerc. You'd think that would calm me down. It did not. I was still constantly feeling the pressure and I just couldn't properly lock in. The more mistakes I made, the closer Leclerc got. At this point, it genuinely felt like I was in a horror movie, except instead of running away from a serial killer, I was desperately trying to escape Charles Leclerc. I started looking at my sector times and noticed that I was losing a ridiculous amount of time in sector 2, and unfortunately, I couldn't figure out how to fix it while also trying not to throw the car into the wall. Then came the final lap. Leclerc finally caught me and made the overtake. And honestly, I can't even blame him. My battery management had been terrible. So, I simply didn't have enough power left to defend against. Now, I was under even more pressure, trying desperately to catch him back. Heading into the first corner of Sector 2, I pushed a little too hard and completely messed it up. I lost a ton of time, and at this point, I wasn't calm anymore. I was desperate. And when you're desperate in a racing game, apparently your brain decides that the best strategy is to make even more mistakes. One mistake turned into another, and before I knew it, I had lost another 2 positions. Just like that, I went from fighting for the win to fighting to even make the podium. In the end, I finished P4. Honestly, I think the biggest lesson from this race was that I didn't lose because I was too slow. I lost because I let the pressure get to me. And apparently, being chased by Leclerc is enough to completely delete my driving skills. And with that, we have reached the end of what has honestly been a pretty tiring but fun experience. I definitely made a lot of mistakes along the way, but hey, that's part of learning, right? If you guys want to see me try something new, or if you have any suggestions, drop them down in the comment section. And of course, if you have enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.